Hello, everybody.
Hello. We'll go right into questions for Coach Al.
Jim, you know, they play a lot of players. Do you think Chris will get more minutes today or Mike?
Here's what I would tell you. I think Florida State's philosophy in terms of playing 10, 11, even 12 guys in a game is a coach's decision. We've been playing at times 7, sometimes 8, sometimes 9. Some of it has to do with who's healthy, who's injured, who's out. But all of that will be a game time decision. I'm not going to make any. We tell everybody that, hey, Florida State has a very deep bench. Our bench needs to play well. But if you saw the other day against Virginia Tech, we only played 7 guys.
Right.
Jim, when we spoke yesterday about Matt Cleveland, and you want him to not be distracted by the fact that he's playing FSU. How has he looked in practice? Yesterday and everything. And do you think how hard is it for a guy to just treat it like just another game when they're playing the former team?
Well, he practiced very well. He's been playing very well. I spoke to him briefly and just said to him, just play like you've been playing. You don't have to change anything. You don't want to change anything. You don't want to do anything different. The issue, and I know especially with the media, sometimes they make certain games bigger than others. It's good for branding, marketing, television, attendance and stuff. But for a player, if you look at one opponent and say, this is really an important game, you know what you're saying about some other opponent? It's not that important. And if you send that message to your players, then you're not really preparing well for the team that's not so good, and you're probably over-preparing and hyping the team that is good. So in my mind, every game is equally important. They're all worth one. And at the end of a 20-game schedule, you figure out who has the best record, and that determines who won the regular season.
Jim, what's been standing out to you about Florida State in their recent stretch? I know you saw them probably earlier against Colorado, so they had a good, but just recently how they've been playing.
Well, if you look at the opponents that we've both played, they beat Colorado, we lost. They beat Wake Forest, we lost. But I think their team right now is playing very well. They're off to a very good start in league play. They've won 4 in a row. They're the tallest team in the country. They rely very heavily on turnovers. If they force a lot of turnovers, 16, 18, 20 turnovers, they win. All right? If they don't force that many turnovers, then the opponent has a far better chance of succeeding. And unfortunately, we've turned the ball over way too often in certain games. So the ball handling and execution at our offensive end will be extremely important to whether or not we're going to be successful.
Considering their height, like you said, they have, I think, just one guy under 6'7" in their starting lineup. You guys are dealing with that all the time with every team. You're always kind of the undersized team, but against a team like this that's especially tall, what can you guys do to compensate for that?
Well, every year we've played them since I've been here, they've been bigger than us at every position. The point being is they have their style of play and we have ours. Our guys have to execute our game plan better than their players execute their game plan. So it may come down to, okay, does their defense force a lot of turnovers, in which case they'll be successful, or our guys really handle the pressure very well and score a lot off of that pressure, in which case that would help us be successful. If we're able to defend them well and rebound, well, that favors us. But if they get to the offensive boards a bunch and get a lot of offensive stickback baskets, that helps them. I can't make that any clearer. We both have strengths. We both have weaknesses.
I want to ask you also about what's your relationship with Leonard? You two are kind of the veteran.
Old guys.
I didn't say old. I didn't say old. Experienced veteran coaches from the same generation. And while all these other people are retiring, you guys are still both hanging in there with a lot of energy. What's your relationship with Leonard and
Well, I really like Leonard. He's a great guy. I consider him a good friend. I think last year and the year before, there was some, with COVID and other things going on with changes in NIL and transfer portal. I would call him, and sometimes he would call me, and we would discuss our opinions, and then we'd voice them at the ACC meetings, or voice them with other coaches in a text message or something. But I think Leonard's, one of the true gentlemen in the game. He does it right. He's been there forever. He's been successful wherever he's been. So his coaching style and strategies work. And we like competing against each other. Obviously, the Miami-Florida State game is a huge game for both of us because they're rivals, just like Carolina is to Duke, just like Michigan is to Ohio State. So both teams will probably be ready to go.
Hey, Jim, would you say it's fair to say the teams had some consistency issues? And if so, do you see them getting better? Being more consistent?
My team?
Your team, yeah.
Absolutely. I don't know how to correct when players are not there to practice. So, Wooga Poplar didn't practice yesterday. Nigel Pack didn't practice a few times, and then Wooga got hurt. He didn't practice. When we've been very successful, when we've played really well on the court, it's because our players are really functioning as a unit, sharing the ball, hitting shots, helping each other defensively. That all comes from preparation. And our thought of the day today is the best preparation for tomorrow is to do a great job today. Will we have everybody today? I don't know that yet. That's what I said last week. Every day is a different guy is out. So, and during practice, someone will, okay, we've got him, we got we're all healthy and everything, and then someone gets hurt right in the middle of practice.
Was that his ankle again, the same thing or something?
Well, here's the thing about injuries. If you injure, we're going to use for an example, hypothetically, if you injure your ankle and then you treat it and then you tape it and you play, you might be able to get through a day. But that activity might aggravate the ankle. So you say, well, why were you able to play on Saturday and not able to play on Monday? Well, because I'm a human being and my body reacted in a certain way. Well, treat it and get better. Yeah, well, it's not as strong after it's been injured. And anybody who's had a bad back knows you have some days your back feels fine. And then you have other days your back is killing you and you didn't do anything different. At least you don't think you did. All right? Maybe you bent over too far. Maybe you put your sock on and I did that at Carolina last year. I have a bad back. I was feeling great. I was moving great. I put my sock on and I froze. My back locked up. So with our players, I'm telling you, it's the same thing. They've had issues physically that challenge them every day. They're in the training room every day. Sam Johnson does a great job with them every day. But there's some things you can't explain. Things happen. So, right now I just have my fingers crossed we'll have everybody for practice today.
Coach, off the topic of the game, I have to ask about Jordan Miller. Obviously,
He's killing it.
in an organization, where your son's coaching, he's, in the G League right now, leading the regular season in points
Now
per
he's
game.
playing in the NBA?
Well, I mean,
Well, he played, he got 2 points the other night.
but he's leading the G League regular season in scoring, nonetheless.
Yeah.
Have you been able to talk not only with Jordan, but your son Jay as well about his progression?
Yes,
And you seem very
both.
excited, so I'd love to hear what you have to say.
Yeah. So first of all, my son Jay sent me a clip on Jordan. He was averaging 28.5 points a game and a certain number of rebounds, assists, and everything. And he says, hey, he's killing it. He's doing great. And so I responded to my son, and then I took that clip and sent it to Jordan. And I said, who is this guy? And he texts me back, and this is him. Same guy I've always been. I got giving me a dig like I could have done this last year at Miami. But he's a terrific player. I think eventually, in time, he'll be in the rotation of the NBA team and not the G League team. But that, again, the Clippers are loaded at that spot. So it's not that he's not really good and couldn't play for other teams, but right now the Clippers are strong. So, when you have Paul George and you got Norman Powell playing that position, so, it's challenging.
Isaiah's leading the Mad Ants in scoring as well.
What?
Isaiah is.
Oh.
He's averaging 16, he's leading the Mad Ants.
Yeah, now Isaiah's in a situation where they've got so many guys. The Pacers are living on those 1, 2, 3 men.
Halliburton's out.
Yeah.
Who did a better job? Her with the analogies of the the adjectives for old people, or what the players are doing in the G League?
No, I think Michelle's analogies were very good. She had very good vocabulary words to describe Leonard Hamilton and I.
All right, thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
You're both very youthful.